On the core inflation, thanks for that remark. And yes, for the MPC, of course, we really do look closely at core inflation. Of course, the core inflation trend has been accelerating, but the level of core inflation currently is fairly close to 4.5%. So it's not running out of hand. The importance of core inflation being that it gives you an idea of underlying momentum of the inflation process. It's not so much pulled up or pushed down by sudden jumps and developments in things like oil and petrol and diesel prices on the one hand and food on the other. So it's supposed to give us a better indication of the underlying momentum of inflation in the economy. So we certainly look at it and analyze it and worry about it, but with a few footnotes. The one is that the core inflation can be sometimes, unfortunately, below the radar screen when it gets, for instance, to wage negotiations. If it gets to wage negotiations, the negotiators would generally not look at core inflation and say, we recognize that the headline inflation now is 6.3%, but the core inflation is 4.5%. We know that the difference is because of extraordinary short-term circumstances. They will probably reverse, and so the wage demand is only for 4.5%. No, sadly not. Usually in such negotiations, at least on the labour side, the quest is for the highest number, which would be the 6.3% plus something extra, not the 4.5%. So one should be a bit careful not to think that secondary round inflation is based on the core inflation. Unfortunately, that secondary rounds of inflation have a lot to do with the headline inflation rate. Perhaps lastly, could I just mention, with administered prices, sometimes one should be quite careful what you wish for. I remember in South Africa, during the period between 2000 and 2007, I think, Eskom was quite proud to say that they contributed to the lower inflation rate by having quite low tariff increases. Of course, a bit grudgingly also because NERSA, the regulator there, did not give them big increases, but they were then kind of proud to say they contributed to bringing inflation down. Little did South Africa know that the trouble with that would be that you would not leave enough money in the kitty for good maintenance and early action on so many things which later on became really problematic. Of course, on top of that, there was also all kinds of corruption and wrong things at Eskom, but sometimes too low tariff increases in the administered prices field can be a short-term nice thing, and in the long run it can catch up with you. So generally, utilities should not fall back too much. My expectation would be that that would not be such good news. Thank you. Of course, one must always be mindful that even if excess demand is not an immediate problem, the indirect price wage spirals that come from the current inflation in its own right have unfortunately a tendency to stick. And so therefore sometimes one is not led by the strength of domestic demand, but rather by the momentum of inflation in its own right in deciding to raise interest rates. So too big a deviation between our interest rates and that of South Africa would be risky stuff. And I think the MPC is mindful of that. There are constraints, but as we have seen, it is possible to deviate without actually in any way limiting the Namibian economy and actually doing things which are more in line with its own domestic needs. But there are constraints to that. In the point that you do not see the capital flows as the MPC does, acknowledge that from your closeness to the market, of course, and we also have our market specialists close to the MPC and on the MPC, so that's very true. What, of course, I'm looking very much forward to see is that strong demand for Namibian assets starts to translate into even much lower interest rates on the long bonds. Those yields are really, for government bonds, really on the quite high side, and one would wish that surplus demand from, I guess, the non-resident sources become translated into a lowering of those costs, which are, after all, for the Namibian taxpayer in the end to pay those interest interest coupons on the Namibian bonds. So thank you.